I'm gonna try this a second time. How y'all doing? Happy Tuesday, my world. Happy whenever you'll see this in your world, okay? Bienvenidos a mi canal. Welcome back to my channel. If you know me, thank you so much for coming back to see me again. I appreciate you. If you do not recognize this face right here, my bad. My name's Latrice. Nice to meet you. And this right here is Faith by Latrice. Yes. Where faith is muscle we exercise around here. Now let's get on into it, y'all. No dilly-dallying. As you can see, I'm basically speeding it up because I'm trying to get to it because I'm hype about it. Today's Tuesday. On Tuesdays, estoy en ayuno. It means I fast on Tuesdays. And the clarity I have is wonderful. I'm so excited I want to share it with you. When I got up this morning, in my little librito, I read Job 2:13. To give you the backstory of what happened with Job. One day, God was looking around. He saw Satan. He was like, yo, my man, come here real fast. What you been doing? He said, I've been walking around the earth to and fro, seeking whom I may devour. God said, oh, have you considered my servant Job? He's a man of integrity. He's blameless. He loves me. He's all for me, all things. Satan was like, well, of course he's going to praise you. Of course, I've tried him. But you have this hedge of protection around him, protecting him, his property, his family, all his things. So of course he's gonna praise you and give you all the credit and all the stuff. You've been protecting his stuff. But if you take away that hedge of protection, he gonna curse you. God was like, oh, swear? Is that how you feel? Cool. I'm gonna remove it. So go ahead and touch him. Touch his possessions, all the things. But don't you harm him. He was like, bet. Basically, Job lost everything. From his livelihood, his wealth, his children, all his possessions was taken. Then Job still did not curse God. Okay? Because remember, what Satan wanted was, he said, if you take away all of his possessions, everything he has, he'll curse you. God was like, bet, let's try it. With God's permission, that's important. With God's permission, Satan touched and took everything he had. Job was devastated about it, but he didn't curse God. Then God comes back to Satan like, yo, what happened? You told me if I let you touch his stuff, he was going to curse me. What happened? He was like, oh, well, skin for skin. He was like, basically, why am I guessing? He said a man will give up everything he has to save his own life, right? But if you reach out and touch him, if you reach out and harm his body, he surely is going to curse you. He's like, all right, bet, go ahead and touch him. But you're not going to take his life, though. So Job ends up getting these boils, right? His skin is just all over the place, right? Job is scraping his skin. Still did not curse God, though. Here's the important part. His wife sees him suffering. His wife said to him in verse 8, are you still trying to maintain your integrity? Curse God and die. Now, this is a man of God, and his wife told him that. Job replied, but let's get down to the verse I read this morning. Basically, Job's friends are coming, and they see him suffering. They see him like, oh my God, what's going on with him? They run over to him. Verse 13, his friends, then they sat on the ground with him for 7 days and nights. No one said a word to Job, for they saw that his suffering was too great for words. Listen to what I just said. Hold that. After I read that verse, I went to the Bible app and I read another verse that coincided with this verse, with verse 13. Proverbs 17:17. A friend loves at all times, but a brother is born for adversity. It speaks to the dynamic of the relationships you form. You have friends, but we said this in another video. What do you use to qualify them as friends? What is your criteria for them to have access to you, to be around you in your life? Because this man's woman, his wife, said, are you still trying to be a man of God? Are you still trying to be somebody with integrity? Can you just curse God and die already? That's his wife now, okay? The difference between somebody who's born for adversity in your life, who gonna stick with you when it get tough, who stick with you when you ain't got no money, who stick with you when you don't have influence, who stick with you when you don't know what you're doing with your life. They're there for you. She opened her mouth and said something crazy. They came and sat with him, mourned with him, probably cried with him in silence. They didn't have to say nothing. They just sat with him. The dynamics of family. Right? What does it mean to really have family? And then I was reminded of something that Jesus said one time in the Bible, right? He was teaching, preaching, talking to a crowd. In the middle of him talking, some people come over to him and say, yo, Jesus, your mom and your brothers, they standing outside. They want to talk to you. He said, my mom and my brothers? Who is my mom and my brothers? He pointed at the disciples and said, these right here are my brothers and my mom, and this is my family, in other words. The people who are not obstructing me from the will of God, the people who are not obstructing me and speaking down and against the work I need to be doing in my life. Those are my real family. These are the people that's built for what I'm built for. And that right there is in Matthew 12. Jesus. The people who are not pulling me away from the will of God. His wife said the exact thing that the devil wanted him to do in the first place. Satan told God, if you take everything he has, if you mess with his health, he'll surely curse you. Job didn't do that. His wife was like, yo, my man, are you still trying to be a good guy? Can you just curse God already and get this over with? Somebody who's closest to him, living in his house every day, said something against what he believed. I hope this is making sense to somebody. Take an inventory. Once again, this is a new year. Who are you around? Who are you listening to? Who's in your ear? Get some clarity on that. I fasted today. When I tell you the wonderfulness of fasting, now it ain't for the weak. Because me and food have a relationship. Gotta prepare for it. But the clarity I get on what to do next, what certain things that I've been struggling with all week in my mind, I've been going back and forth when I fast, the next coming days, I get clarity on it. Things make sense to me. Now I know I can see people better. I can see them differently. I see who was for me and who wasn't. I see when they said that they didn't really mean it. Okay. Take an inventory. Who is your brother? Who is your sister? Who's your family? Calculate it. See what's going on. That's it. Go about your business. Si nadie te ha dicho hoy, este día que te estoy hablando a ti mismo, if nobody has told you today, hoy, este lunes, I love you. If nobody has told you today, I love you and I love me too. Because listen, life be lifing out here, but guess what? We are going to prosper regardless. Catch you on the flip side. Bye.